Good morning, good evening, Mech Warriors. Today, we have a special one for you this morning slash evening. Uh, Pi versus 256. I'm your host today, Level, and I'm here with Jay Z, the legend, in the
G'day, you
flesh.
lot. How you going?
Uh, Tonight should be, or this morning should be pretty interesting. Bears Brawlers has been one of the favorites of the community comp this season because they've been doing some weird stuff and people have just been loving it. It's been making good content. And then we got Pi, I think they're Div D. They're the first place Div D, and we'll see what they end up doing today.
Yeah, mate. This is a pretty classic team matchup here. Now I'm going to hit launch. We're going to send it straight into drop one, and while we load in, let's chat about these teams. So as Level said, Pi doing very well in the division so far. Strong contenders to take it. And Beark have long-running team, been around for over 7 years. Great friends of mine, and in the Asia Pacific region, we all know each other. So Bearcave, I'm going looking at running quite hilarious, fun, and probably being a bit more serious and more mainstream is what I'm expecting to see. It is a 7v7. We're expecting to see one weight class missing for the first 4 drops of this game mode, and let's look at the builds. All
I'm
right, so it looks like Pi are bringing Wolfhound, Vulcan, Nova. Oh man, yeah, it's good. Trying out. Yeah, Cataphract, Marauder, Annihilator. So it's pretty much high DPS, mid-range firepower, standard sort of stuff there.
over here at Bears Brawlers. We're looking at Vigal, Champion, Hunchback 2C, Piranha K9, Fafnir, and a Jaeger mech.
I just want to highlight that Fafnir build, running 2 LB20s, 3 PPCs, extremely brawly build from the Bears Brawlers. They're living up to their name.
Absolutely.
Standard movement here though, Pi spreading out nicely, is trying to get the 3-cap, controlling Theta, Bear Cav swinging into the low ground, and looks like a very hard low push into the Bravo 4 region.
That K9 looks really slow.
Well, the build on it is only 5 MPL, so it's a standard sort of build. Now, can the Bearcat catch out Ministers, Marauder 3R, and Cataphract? If they get the quick jumps on here with that massive brawl build, Pi's Assault, another Nova is too far behind to really get into this. Bears could pick off 2 heavies instantly.
Yeah, it looks like Tugbobo and the Vulcan's taking some serious hits. Got himself, looks like a little stuck there into the map. This Cataphract he's looking pretty worse for wear already.
Yeah, on the
Side toss is
3D, both
popped.
are right torso mounted. Mr. Bear, the double 20 hunchy takes out the Vulcan. Bearcat doing really nicely here for solid push. They'll get cut back down and Minister. This could be a Bearcat win on drop 1 so far. This is a very, very good push from Bearcat.
Oh, Guardsman in the Fafnir just rolling up the side there with those snubs and LBs. He just dunked the Cataphract. Annie is just kind of just doing his best to hold ground, but yeah, it's already 7v4 at this point. Pike can still pick up a couple more kills. Mr. Bear himself is at 66%.
McGarsman and that Fafnir just deleting things. Oh my goodness, that's brutal. Bearcave just doing a really good job just coming into that fight. That Annihilator being a bit slow on the Pi side to really play much of a difference in this engagement.
And that leaves the Flea. Where is that little guy at?
Yep, just a fleet left. He's running around in Charlie 4 there. He's pretty fresh though. Unfortunately, Catcoon is not possible with this many enemies on the field and this early in the game. So it's going to be very clearly a Bearcave win. But look, I honestly am really, really excited to see a good solid brawl push out of the Bearcave on the opening drop. Pi being the favourite for this one, it's always good to see a little bit of an upset to start the series off.
I think the Flea just ran back through his own strike, Try to dodge the piranha. Oh, Flea's gonna try to finish off Mr. Bear. Pick off one more kill. Is it
It might get
possible?
him too.
The enemy has capped enough
The piranha
resources.
just shreds him.
We've failed.
And GG's both teams. That's Bears with the win.
Yeah, very nicely too. 7-3 win, and let's get the stats. So let's run down the damages real quick. As expected, look at that damage spread. That's beautiful. Between 300s and low 400s, that is what you want to see. I'll come back to that in a second. On the Pi side, there's three double Ds. So the lights particularly got dropped low, and then the two heavies under the 200. So even though the Nova and Annihilator at the back did come in for some nice scores, it was those two heavies getting dropped quickly, and the lights not being able to really capitalize that hurt Pi's damage output across the board. The unorthodox builds from Bearcave definitely paid off there with extremely high pinpoint AC-20 snubs and a couple machine gun builds for the crits to finish off.
For sure.
All right.
Taking a look at the
And the reason I
not much
like
war
to highlight
crimes.
that is no. Look, look, war crimes. I didn't see too many strikes launched inside the brawl, so that's quite helpful to reducing that. But the good damage spread like that just shows every mech getting in, committing, and cycling well. No mech's really been left out of the fight, so that's actually a sign of quite mature teamwork and good cohesion. So Bellic have really been playing a lot together for a long time, and just that beautiful damage spread there, showing just a very clean brawl executed well.
Now earlier you did mention 7 years. I did not know Bears Brawlers has been around that long. Uh, I've only known about him personally for about a year now, so I should say personally, I've only seen them around for about a year. 7 years, that'd make them one of the since the beginning, at least 2014.
Yeah, which is when the Wild One started in 2014. That's my team. So we've known them from the get-go. There's actually quite a lot of history between us, which is great, really good stuff. So I just want to check this properly. The next map is Tourmaline, I think. Is that correct?
Yes, Torm is map 2 for tonight.
Excellent. Great. Very good. Now, I think they stay on the same side. Yep, there you go. Get
Yep.
the T15 going. I could draw on the map what just happened there. It's quite simple, really. Let's just do this with... Let's this way. Let's just do a quick drawing around. Okay, so team one, they had nice lines. They kind of tried to push up two heavies into here. They had light play down here. So I'm just going to go big capital L. And so, yeah, the lights here and here. Heavies up here. The problem is that their assault was still back here by the time that let's go red for red team, we had Bear Cav up on them immediately. And that, like I was called early on, so they make it the overlap, pick up those two heavies, and sure enough, just a cohesive movement here just created a little kill zone. And
Yeah,
Bear Cav just capitalized on it nicely.
I will say the big booty Fafnir uh, when when it came around the side there, like it blew that side torso off that cataphract before it even knew there was even a Fafnir there. That was pretty good. I like the deck that you guys took 256. Well done.
Oh, for sure. That's this classic bear cav. Like, the Fafnir may not really be the best pick out there. There are obviously the Annihilator. You could even run a heap of different things really. But that particular Fafnir build, it's fun, it works, it deletes things. It's what they want to run. Bear cav does what they want to do, and they've proven time and time again over the years that they may not always win out of it, but they always put up a good show, and often will take drops that are unsuspecting. Team 2 is ready. Beautiful, look at that. Now,
All
it
right.
is a 7v7, so the first 4 drops will be down one of a weight class. The first one was down an assault. The second one will be down a heavy. Tourmaline Desert. one of the comp stalwarts for many years.
Yes. I've had some of my best matches, closest matches have been on this map, and also some of my worst stops been on this map in comp. It's but it's a map I'm learning to tame. Now let's see if
That's
these
fair.
teams have done the same.
So I can tell you that Pi is running a classic Wolfpack style with Assassin, Jav, Commando, and then running a bigger DPS deck with the Bloodhouse, the Direwolf, Veagle, and so forth, and the Ruffman.
Bears,
Bears,
Bears.
what are they doing?
We got Piranha, Annihilator, 2A, Veagle, K9, NCT, Novacat, Hunchback 2C, and a Direwolf Ultraviolet. With live in
And
the
live with
Ultraviolet.
the pink Direwolf, live with the fashion statement there. Look at that.
Oh
But
wow.
of course, Bear Cave, you want to note what Mr. Bear on that Hunchback 2C B is running and what the Novacat B is running? Yes, guys, we have Lerms. The Bear Cave are running Lerms.
Live, you
Are
are
they holding?
fabulous.
They're holding. Okay, Minnesot's crashed. So they will hold. Yes, there are some rules around that. In that time, look, hey, holds are great. We can check out the best dressed. What we
If
have
the
here.
hold is in the first 30 seconds because of disco,
It was, yes.
they're allowed to redrop if they want.
Yeah. He's laying back in. They can also do a call on time.
I will say this: if you look at Nabon's Ultraviolet,
1340. Okay.
he's making a fashion statement that I think is a better, well done pink direwolf. All right, and we are off.
So on this map, the spawns having changed a bit, but Pi going for the classic alpha spawn strong side high. They might be going to get the direwolf on that corner. Bear Cave going wide, and this is interesting. Are they going to do a strange cap game? In fact, Bear Cave aren't even taking the center positions whatsoever. Not even taking
Oh,
data or any of the positions over data.
yeah, Pie's taking up a normal like Team One kind of positioning around the castle, but yeah, Bears Brawlers is not going to play their game with them. I'm curious to see where they go in after Kappa. Are they just going to roll straight up towards Theta, or are they
Now,
going to go around?
Tourmaline does have a lot of really interesting cap strats. In fact, there's some interesting ones from history. We remember Phoenix Legion versus Teach by Blackwatch. I think that was 2017, and EMP did something interesting in a World Champs. I think it was 2019, where they had a semi-mobile deck with their assaults and heavies running around the outside from the Team 2 side and capping wide caps and holding them. This is a bit different because Bearcap are bringing in an Annihilator and a Direwolf.
Yeah, it looks
These are
like
not fast assaults.
Pi was expecting lights on Theta. They have a streak assassin and a streak javelin camping Theta, um, but there's no lights that are around for them to munch on. Uh, Bears Brawlers sticking together pretty hard here around Kappa. I think I see some shots getting thrown around. I think the Veagle got a shot off on somebody. Live, your dire was almost too bright for the stream. Wowzers.
Yeah, so even though Bearcab have very little map control at the moment, the caps are equal 2-2. It will be sort of the third Pi is getting their home cap of Gamma. But given that there's only about 20-point difference at the moment, Bearcab actually have a bit of time to make their glacial migration.
Ooh, I think Bears Piranha is going to go try to play with whatever's on Gamma now. Gamma's just
It is a
banana.
commando. Piranha vs Commando is an interesting fight. The Commando can land a couple decisive hits and win that, but over time the Piranha will win that fight if the Commando pilot's aim isn't that strong. The Commando is bugging out, which will mean that Bearcab may take Gamma. However, the Streak Jav and Streak Assassin are coming in to defend Gamma, so that Piranha may be in serious trouble in about 15 seconds.
Yeah, here comes that javelin with 6 streak 2s. Oh no, Prada didn't
Oh,
see him.
please run.
Run,
Please run.
run, run! Oh god, this is gonna get ugly quick. He has
Cannot win this.
flavors! Oh, this is over.
Yep. Bear Cav gonna lose that piranha. He's gonna be eaten like a cookie.
And there he goes. Oh,
There he goes. The Bear Cav have set up to receive, but they're down on caps, so they have to move, and they are moving. Excellent, good decision. Yes, if you're ever down on caps, you cannot hold. You must make the move to break that. Daka being fired, that is a nice Daka Annihilator, hitting a little bit the back of Nova Cat there.
here comes the little Nova Cat. Just raining down all the sky sprinkles on that ultraviolet.
They have enough firepower, they could have pushed that die off. Honestly, that line, they could have just pushed straight down there, and they had the guns to do it, but that's fine. The caps are still in Pie's favour. They are doing quite well to keep the dial safe for now, and to not let it just get picked off by any sort of push.
Yeah, the Javelin Assassin are bugging back to the rest of the team.
Mr. Bear leading the scouting with a lone hunchback.
That is very Mr. Bear. Oh, there he goes. He's making it rain on the
Oh,
rifleman. It
cutback
pushed
has fallen.
right off. Oh,
Nice.
oh,
Well done.
he has nowhere to go. He has nowhere to go.
That was not a good drop.
Run, cutback, run.
Mr. Bear's holding too long. The streak makes Mike end him. Oh, he's only halved. He's alright. Excellent strike from Pie on top of the Bear Cav mech to force him back slightly. Mr. Bear eating that to the face.
Looks like the Bloodass is going to come around to start poking these guys here on the left side. And here he goes.
UAVs covering the sky. Look at that. There's 4 UAVs up for Pie on that corner. They want to have no possible questions there. What Lambo down? Mr. Bear's about to go down. Bear Cav about to lose both their lambs, and they've already lost their piranha. This is not looking good for them right now. That said, they are finally getting Gamma. But at the cost of losing Sigma in the backfield.
This Annie and Direwolf live and Vampire kind of both fight for the same spot to poke from.
Yeah, they're pinned on each other. This is not a good position for Bear Cav right now. Diving in over there wouldn't be strong. Going around the corner is probably the only option to pick off Hat Trick's Blood Asp on the Pie side. But now that the Pie assaults are paired up together, it's really only a matter of time, I think, before Pie round this one out. Interesting choice. Bear Cav bringing in Irby as the second light, which acts more like a medium. So with that Piranha gone, they don't really have any light play for speed. There's a big push though. Live trying to spearhead that, take out the other Direwolf, and maybe push the Pie Big Mechs back. But Bear Cav way too hurt across the board, so I think to win this firefight on the corner.
Yeah, and the two streak mechs are coming around just to get them in the rear. A few seconds late, but yeah, they're gonna get there and finish this. Nabans, I think, is going to be the next to probably drop. He's starting to look pretty messed up there. That side torso is one touch. There it goes.
There you
Mr.
go.
Bear
Mr. Bear
finally
dies.
drops.
Yep.
Javelin Assassin comes starts mopping up these mechs. Beagle just backing up the best he can. But that K9 is about to get finished off by the Javelin. Nabuns and his Direwolf finally go down. Live still kicking at 39%. He pulls out, he takes out the Rifleman.
He does it. I mean, look, the percentages on the Bear Cav mechs, 37% on live. He's the last one left. Yeah, and he goes down. It's a 7-2, so far it's pretty even back and forth in the first 2 drops.
Yeah. GG's both teams. That was... Oh, I feel bad for that Piranha there at the start.
Well, that's a risk you take, taking a cap solo, particularly after it just got taken. Alright, let's look at the damages real quick. Tug Bobo's Commando, he's just capping the entire time, 0 damage, but over 2 minutes of objective time, so good on him. But big damage, 4 kills, 600 plus out of the Hat Trick's Blood Asp, and another 600 plus out of the Direwolf. So really big numbers there. Bear Cav, that Live got both the kills with 4-4, but that Piranha just getting picked off, and Just didn't quite leverage out the same output out of their other bigger mechs. The Lerms spreading damage, of course, has not been as pinpoint, so again, that damage is a bit lower in terms of effective lethal damage. So yeah, Pi just playing a standard sort of strat, control the center, control the caps. Bearcat trying a flanking maneuver, but with such slow mechs and with a slow second light, that Piranha was going to be alone. And I didn't have the main force maneuverability to really just dictate the engagement.
Yeah. I just noticed though, Tug Bobo with the commando, 0 damage.
That's right.
He
So he
played
did 0 damage and over
caps.
2 minutes objective time, so he was definitely
Yeah, he's not
smashing
doing the
those
cap
caps.
games.
Yeah.
Now,
It
if
was
they were
quite
going to play
smart.
cap so hard, would it have been smarter to use a cap spider?
Absolutely. The only reason to use a command, I guess, is for the ECM and for yeah. So I got swap sides, I believe. Is that right? Drop
Yep, we
2 to
swapped
3 swap
sides.
sides. Great. Okay. I've set something up. Okay, that looks correct. There we go. That's great. So we can draw on the map if we want. Easiest way to draw it, I think, would be, say, that would be the main movement from team 2. Okay, let's go team 1. The map needs to change. Oh my god. To Solaris.
Yes. Solaris
Right.
is drop 3. Um,
Okay.
Looking at the map strat,
I'm gonna put
Bears
like little arrows here.
they s- they kind of held right here during that whole time that Piranha did this whole maneuver up to Gamma. Um, I don't know. I think I would have. I think the pathing they took was fine. I think they should have just moved their whole team there. They could have probably even intercepted those 2 streak mechs when they came for to go get lunch on the Piranha.
Yeah, there's as far as the pie initial positioning went, I'm probably not quite getting all this exactly right from memory, but essentially what we had here was an early theta control by Pi. So grabbing, classic 3 cap hold and forcing Bear Cav to basically break that. The loss of the Piranha over Gamma was, I think, quite big for forcing the engagement. So let's just say, I'm using a pinger here, that Bearcat was able to get Gamma. Let's say they had, instead of an ABK9, they had a faster light. Okay, we're able to send 2 lights there and to 2v2 or to really fight that and control it. Well, then you have another situation where, in fact, it probably wouldn't have even mattered because the commander on Pi had run all the way over to Sigma. And so they would just swap to the 3 cap, forcing that same maneuver to happen. So realistically, I think Bearcav, the only option they would have had, and this is an orange here, is when they move through, I'm going to put orange here. Where they moved through, instead of stopping, I reckon they should have rushed the die-off. So they had
Yeah.
Pi had a die-off right there. There was, of course, other mechs out of the fight. One commander running into a Sigma, the 2 lights going for that Piranha and Gamma. The opportunity was there, I think, where they could have just drilled that die-off with Lerms and some Daka, get some free damage, and then push in and brawl that with the Lerm boats covering. But anyway, good job, Pi. Well played on that second drop.
Yes. Very well played. All right. Let's take a look back in the lobby. See how these teams are coming along. Team 1 is locked. Yeah. Team 2 is going.
Already set. So they're going for it. Now this one, I believe, drops a medium. So who knows what we're going to see. The first map we saw, Brawl map. For instance, second map we saw kind of a bit more open, so we saw long-range DACA like AC2s, some PPC Veagles and stuff, and of course LRMs. This is a Brawl map, again. Extremely high DPS or high alpha strikes, just absolutely brutal builds I'm expecting to see. Bears would be unlikely, in my opinion, to bring Lerms or ATMs. I do think we'll see something extraordinarily brawly out of them. Pi, I would think something high DPS and Daka would be my guess.
I would agree. That's exactly what I would say too. I think Pi is going to go for high DPS Daka, and Bears Brawls are going to full send it. I expect Spirit Bears. If I don't see a Spirit Bear, I'm going to be disappointed and I'm quitting.
Well, I would consider MRMs. I think these guys. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say MRMs. Mass MRM spam is my guess for Bear.
That is
They're
a
locked.
possibility.
We're good.
Yeah, both teams are locked. We are.
7-7 looks legal, and let's go. Only 5 tons of heavier to the Bear Cav, so. Okay. So what's the maximum possible tonnage? 250, 305 plus 2. This.
Crash
Okay, so
told me
they're
yesterday.
both running. Pardon?
See, Crash told me yesterday, and I completely blanked it out. I forgot, like, right after our cast, what the max tonnages were for
Oh,
each
that's
map.
right. I just worked back to that again. It's 475. So they're both running a little bit under. Okay. It's Solaris time.
Get your frame rates ready, boys.
Getting a solid 60. What are you talking about? Oh, getting over 100 now.
I'm
So
being unfairly picked on by the whole GPU shortage. I've needed a new one for a while, and then once I finally get the money, it's like, hey, I can get a new GPU. You know what the first thing that happens? GPU shortage. Everything's double price. It's like,
and you might be angry at this, but in rural Australia, I got a 3070 at a bricks and mortar store. Anyway,
I'm so angry at you right now. All right, I'm looking here at two Bears. We got Cyclops 10Q, a Javelin HT Wolverine, Quarantine, and Irby R68. I'm gonna have to double check. I think you're right. This is mass MRM span. We got a Kraken, Marauder 9M, and a Quick Draw.
yep, they rain the merms. They're doing it.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, this is amazing. Okay, the Irby is running MRM 33 smalls. Now, Pi side, Kraken, Atlas, AC20, triple snubs. We have that Streak Assassin is back, Warhammer Ultra Daka, Daka Marins with the triple AC10s, Daka Kodiak of more AC10s, Streak Jav makes another appearance, and the Commando's running 3 SRM2s and a Flamer, an ECM. Okay, as you do. But of course, Pi again going for the quick caps and center, taking Theta with their light pack, 2 Streakers and the ECM Commando. The reason to throw on the Commando over the Spider is the ECM for counter streaks, I'm guessing. Anyway,
do you
Bearcav still
think they'll
taking
get away
caps.
with it a second time? Do you think they'll be able to use these streak mechs to pick off a light early in the match again?
I feel like Bearcav are going back to drop 1 style, which is just go group up you lot and send it. Which I hope they do. I feel like that's Bearcav's biggest strength, is to bring in, just get their big mechs up and just send it.
Yeah,
They got the DPS.
Yeah, I'm looking at Bearcav right now. They have all 7 mechs right on the edge of Theta. Pi split with 3 on Epsies and the other 4 on the other side of Theta. If this fight happens before those 3 get back, this is gonna be very painful. It's gonna be 7v4. And here we go. Bears
Now,
pushing in on Theta.
Bearcav don't know that though. The challenge here for them is they'll get Theta and that's fine, and they'll be up on a 3 cap. Do Pi try to fight that, or do they go on the outside and grab Kappa? Because in Pi's situation, after drop 1, you'd be probably thinking, you know what, maybe not do a head-on brawl with them, considering that their light
Javelin
pack is...
just found him. He just got lit up by the Kodiak. He's backing off.
We only get lit up once. It's a high there. Look at that. We have a Jav high there being brought. That's a mech you don't see every day. 2 MEM 10s and 4 ER smalls. Strikes are probably going to play a bit here because of the tight maneuvering areas and the groups up there. Oh, here we go. Bearcat making a move around the back, leading with the OB68. They're going to try and push this, are they? Are they going to go through the choke? Surely not. They're going to go on the outside.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go on the outside and not go through the choke.
Bearcat getting a surround, a triangle surround on the main force of Pi. Pi stuck in that little triangle there. This could be interesting, and I feel like the lights being streak based for Pi and SRM2 based are very ineffective at doing any serious damage in their harassing moves.
Dith in the Irby is about to get picked. The assassin dropped. Oh, we got war
the
crimes.
team kill! War crimes! Look at that, they're down both the streakers. Diff is very hurt. In fact, they're focus firing from lights upwards to the assaults, but it's beautiful strike goes in on the Pi Big Max. Bearcat, if they push this in with the heavies and the fresh heavies, this could be a very, very decisive win for the Bears. Look at the Merm spam, the Marauder 9M just dumping Merms through that gap onto the cutbacks KDA3.
Yeah, both teams are wailing on each other really hard right here. 256 has a couple mechs on the verge of popping to Cyclops and the Irby, but they still are 2 mechs ahead.
Kuriyama and Wolverine, followed by his Marauder 9 and Buddy, are going to come around that right-hand side and hit Minister's Atlas and the cutbacks Kodiak from that side angle, and that's what they need. Bearcat need to hit these multiple entryways into that triangle spot. Cutback is going to go down, and Minister's in big trouble now. AC-20 Snubs is a strong build, but on the 100-ton mech, probably a little bit undergunned compared to those massive MRM volleys going in. On the kill counter, only 4 mechs up for Pi. Now 3 mechs, they're all hurt.
Oh.
And there's twice as many on the Bearcat side. This is going to be, I think, a 256 victory here.
Yeah, for sure. Commando came in to try to do something, but Bearcat, they saw it coming, and all 4 of those mechs just turned and just one-shot that Commando all at the same time. That was...
XL check on the Cataphract, and the result is... XL.
Well done.
Okay.
You called that straight up. Massive RM spam. I expected more AC-20s and SRMs, to be honest.
The Bearcat usually have themed drops where they will like run on the first drop they ran AC-20 snubs, but yeah, they sometimes run a theme. I personally, I have a very big soft spot on this map, and I have done it in comp running a 4 MRM 40 Stalker. So
of course you have. Of course you have.
let's talk about the damages real quick here.
Yeah.
So again, Bearcat, like that on drop 1, beautiful damage spread. Look at that. I mean, the 2 of the lights did under 300, but that the lights, but all the rest in the high 400s to 500s. Excellent damage spread there. Kills across the board. That's what you want to see. Pi, that assassin just getting popped. The commander not doing a huge amount there. That I don't think that 3SM2 player build worked quite well. Yes, there are bigger mechs. There Marionettes and 2 assaults both all 3 of them did over 500 damage, which is excellent. But again, Bearcat, all their mechs came in, did work, got angles, and helped leverage that. Pi getting hemmed into that triangle opening, I think, really sealed the deal for them.
Yeah.
And forced their hand in basically fighting on multiple angles while Bearcat just run around and dictate the match.
Now looking at the post-match stats, a lot of team damage from Bears Brawlers. Like a lot of team damage. And the only one team damage is Minister. He's the one with the 50 Alpha Kraken and did 56 team damage. So my theory is he shot somebody in the butt. He missed his shot and hits one of his teammates.
Well, he did get a team kill.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did took out the javelin. That's right. War crimes.
So it probably was a backrifice where the Jav jumped across the front of the Atlas and just got bammed the rear CT or something and just dropped him. That's my take on what I think happened there. I'm going to I may have this wrong on the map, so apologies if I picked the wrong triangle. For the purposes of this, it is good enough, I think. Okay, so team 2 was the Pi. So imagine here. Essentially, they had a lot of mechs in this triangle. I'm going to just pick this triangle as an example. Bearcat able to get lines on the outside of this triangle. I know that triangle is actually, as I realized, is a building, but you get the idea. Reds were inside it, blues on the outside for the most part. and just had nice angles. Canyonero, let's go. Okay. Excellent. So it's 2-1, Bear Cavs' favor.
Yeah, Pi needs to has to pull out these last two drops if they want to win, and they have to at least win this next one to stay afloat. Now, I'm personally a big fan when matches are fights back and forth, and it's 2-2. That last match drops right, and it's important, right? That's always the best. No one likes to steamroll, so I'm hoping Pi wins this next one, even ties everything out, and then we go into the last drop grim, and winner takes all.
I mean, look, as classic NWO comp, it usually ends up in it's very often ends up in a final match decider. But look, leagues, as we all know, have been playing for years. Leagues are often based on points or match things. So even if you do lose 3 drops early on in the series, coming back to win 2 and getting lots of kills in them does help for tie breaks and all that. T1 is locked, great. T2 5 man. Bravo Charlie spawns on Canyon. So you've shown the Solaris thing. It's simple. I'm going to move over to Canyon now. Was he redrawn some stuff? What are we looking at here? Bravo Charlie Team 1. Oh, it doesn't matter anymore. It's because all those things are grouped up.
Yeah,
So this is the first comp series with the new Canyon.
I love it. I love the new canyon. The changes were perfect. The guy who did the maps, shout out my dude. I think the new canyon, personally, is a much more fun comp map than old canyon was.
Yeah, I can tell you that the map guy Francois is amazing. Really good at what he does. As a Cauldron guy myself, sitting with him in the meetings and watching him edit and work on things in discussion, he's really good. It's excellent. There's a lot of skill there and a lot of really good work there. Yes, there's some things to tidy up. Yes, do we know there's floaty rocks around the middle and there's a few funny little things. But honestly, big game play improvement. I'm in quick play. I'm noticing that Delta 4 ramp position is beautiful. I'm gonna ping it on the map there. Like, you have options here to climb up into sand if you need to, or that the outer ring. Well, sorry, I won't say outer. The middle ring of high grounds is extremely strong, and you have opportunity to move between them a lot more easily now. So lots of great stuff.
Oh yeah,
As soon as Team 2 confirms they're ready, I will launch. Look at the tonnages.
435 to
That's
450. 435, I
yeah,
think, is pretty underton for this drop, isn't it?
yeah. Is this a rush brawl strat? Potentially. I
I'm
know it's probably a bit, gargoyle execution and stuff. Maybe who
now.
knows?
If I would have said it 256 was going to learn on a map just once, it would be Canyon, especially New Canyon over like Tourmaline. But they already did learn, so I don't know if they're going to do it again. If they do, but if they do it again, I think it'll be this map.
There's one way to find out. Okay. In fact, it's almost certainly a lamb. You're right. I do think it's going to be a certain lamb thing. I am hoping that they brought the lamb stalker. I think
Oh,
they did.
oh,
They did, Mr. Bear. You
both
beautiful
these teams
person.
are
You brought the
learning.
3 hate.
Uh, on Pi we have Commander 2D, Night Gear, Trebuchet, my man, Corsair 7A for the AMS coverage, Timberwolf, Awesome, and Nova. The Timberwolf is also Lerms.
Any hostiles that get in your way.
Are
There are
both these teams
so
just
many
going to?
lambs
Enemy forces have
on
been
so many mechs. I'm just looking to the bear cave side. There are so many lambs. But there are Jeff Brawlers though. I will say that they're both the mediums on Bear Cave side are SRM clan medium brawlers, so they will have the speed and movability to smash into things.
Yeah, Pi definitely went a little more all in on the Lerms. Their only not Lerm mechs are the Corsair and I think a trading Night Gear, but everything else is Lerms.
Yeah,
What?
Nokia Gauss 2 large pretty standard stuff there.
We
The
have gained
Timby,
Epsilon.
yeah, that's a learn build too. So you got Elijah's no. He's actually scaring the Timby in trash pile. Okay.
Is that a
Um,
Narc Raven? On
it
Brawlers
is a Narc
Brawlers?
Raven. Yep, absolutely a Narc Raven. Now, Pi have done a classic Epsilon denial setup. They've set up a beautiful concave to prevent Bearcat from wrapping around Eps. We have seen teams try that, try wrap around Eps from Team 1 side, and doesn't usually work that well. But given this lens, it's a bit of a different story here. Now, Bearcat do have those brawlers, so I want to see how they engage with them. But the lens are flying. Oh, look at that. Mr. Bear, that's not how you play the Stalker.
Now, the AMS Nova seems to be actually doing
Training?
a lot of work. Because that
Yeah.
Timberwolf, I just watched three Lurm mechs rain into him really hard, and they barely did any damage. But they are now
Except they're
focusing.
learning the Nova now.
Yeah, they learned their lesson that Nova's about to drop. The Raven,
No,
they
the
got the
Narc is
Narc
gone.
Raven.
Oh no.
Get out of there,
Narc Raven
Minister.
is gone.
Minister's
But
about
Minister's
to
got
go
to go.
down.
The Corsairs, the 7 AMS working their butts off trying to
Oh
get
my
save that Nova. I don't know if it's enough. The Bear may have brought enough lambs to blood out the sun and blot out this Nova's
Minister,
existence.
he is just fighting for his life, trying to find whatever cover he can. I think they finally lost their locks on him because he seems safe. Now he's doing a little cleanup on these UAVs. I didn't think he was going to survive that. I can't believe he survived that.
I think I would have to say that the better position would still go to Bearcat. They should jump their brawls into the ditch on their low left side, charge up the ramp, and smack them on the side. That would be beautiful. They do that right now. It's just sent their Beagle and Arctic Wolf there. Because those bridges will cover from Lerms. It's safe to do that move. The trading things that they're doing right now with Bearcat, they're kind of trade lemming. It's not really going to work too well for them. The 99% Corsair up there and 97% Nike are just two direct fire mechs that you just don't really want to mess with in the way that they're trying to. So Bearcat can't trade. They're going to roll back, which is kind of smart. They're up slightly on cap points, but it's double caps each way. There's one light, which is the commando on Pi, going to make it a 3 cap. So Bearcat need to make a move. As soon as they see that cap on Kappa flick red, they should probably make a pushing move with their brawlers.
Yeah.
They're setting them up towards Theta at the moment, and honestly, I do like this move. I think it's a bit safer than what I was suggesting earlier, but I do think they need to get them in live, going very wide, maybe going for a Kappa run himself, which is possible. But now, rather conservative LRM play, if I can say that.
Do you think both teams kind of jarred each other there at the beginning? Because that was an insane amount of Lurms, and then both teams backed off pretty quickly.
I'm a little bit concerned about Mr. Bright's Veagle, how he's positioning this. The Trebuchet can get hits on him, and that Commando is going to get away pretty easily. As long as that... Oh, Veagle took a bit of damage there. He's got to hide from Lambs a bit. Live's going to turn in back to a 3-2 cap the other way, forcing Pi to push on Epsilon with their bigs. Actually, they're kind of holding. It looked like they were going aggressive for a second.
Corsair is just doing God's work with these Lurms.
I want to see the match scores after this.
Oh, so do I.
We have possession of Kappa.
They have a match score higher than the damage. Blue Saros got to be a bit careful that Nova Cat is squishy. His open CT. That is a dangerous, dangerous place to be, buddy.
He's backing
Lose
straight
that right
up.
arm is halved. He's got to sacrifice that right torso now to kind of get back in it. But with the back cap Commander getting Gamma, Live is probably going to do a back cap of Sigma. So this cap's going all over the place. That loss of the Narc Raven is really hurting Bearcat now. They don't really have the ability to take anything out. They don't make direct fire to shoot Naboz's Timber when he peaks. So they trade learning, like I mentioned earlier, which is just not going to work against what Pi's bringing.
I think Monsoon and the Warhammer 2C is going to be the next to go down.
He'll get halved. He actually won't die just yet. He's got a bit more life in him. Is the commander going to come in the backfield though? Tug Bobo is going to sneak right behind Mr. Bear.
Oh.
He only has 3 SRM2s though, so his firepower is pretty low. Oh sorry, 1 SRM4, 1 Narc. It's a different build again. Oh, they got the Corsair!
They got the
Corsair down.
Oh,
This
looks like Vigo and
is the
Arctic
bright
will
side.
push.
Yes, about time they actually got these guys in. Live is going to finish them off. Now the AMS is down, but Live is hurt. They've lost their Veagle. 3 are dead for Bear Cave. Is that move going to be enough to win it? Monsoon is now in serious trouble dying. Mr. Bear and Kylo Ren need to push around hard and get those hits in on that awesome and
Live, I
Nova
think he's
flying.
legged, and then he goes down.
Problem is, there's no answer to that commando. There's nothing can hit that commando. It's got ECM. It's running around like mad. Mr. Bear's gonna fire at it, but it's not gonna be enough to kill him. I think Pie's gonna take this one relatively easily.
I'm offended, Mr. Bear. Pi out-learned you. That's not supposed to happen. But wow, the amount of rain that was on this map was... I'm borderline speechless. Well done. Pi with the
I
win!
think Pie with the win in a learn match against the Bear Cave.
Yeah!
That's like flying Russia in the winter. It's just...
Oh, that analogy was perfect.
I think the Warhammer 2C part, Monsoon Cloudburst, is exactly how to describe this match. Alright, so damages. That Raven, 0 mate. Popped, dropped, and sent. But big farm from Nabons there, 924, big farm also from Krenect and Lilith with 800s and 700s respectively, and even the Nike at the direct fire, showing that even direct fire weapons are allowed to be used in this game. Decent numbers there. The Corsair, 410 match score with only 129 damage.
You know what I think was a big deciding factor on this match? Bears Brawlers, no AMS coverage. Pi, like 7 AMS.
I think AMS played a part. I know it definitely played a part in this. I don't know if it was a deciding factor. I honestly think the positioning and mech choice of having one or two direct fire trade mechs compared to... So both teams, right, had, I think, let's count them up properly, I would say 4 Lamboats each, but they both had 1 Narcolite each and 2 non-Lamb mechs. Now, what Pi did was, actually they had 3, actually no, Pi only had 3 Lamboats. Pi had a Nova, a Corsair, and a Nike as 3 non-Lerm mechs. Okay, but they were ranged. Whereas what Bearcat did was they had 2 brawling non-Lerm mechs, and that showed to be a little bit harder to wield, a little bit harder to position. I think that they had to be more aggressive with that and really smack in with the brawlers early because the traders, because it took so long for them to actually do that final, I guess, non-Lerm fight, or that committal fight. The traders from Pi were able to rack up a bit more damage, like we saw with the Nike particularly. And the brawlers from Bearcat, they did some good work when they hooked in, but they're only alive for a short period of time. So I just think that there's a bit of a mech lab choice there and a bit of engagement choice where there's a lot of trade lurming, peeking, firing lurms, peeking back, which alarms are not good for that playstyle. They really rely on locking and dumping and augmenting other firepower on the field. So, yeah. Where are we? We're Grim Plexus.
Yes, we're Grim Plexus, and we got to swap the teams again. Pi back to Team 1.
Okay. Hopefully no one leaves or jumps in while doing this. This is always a risk that I do not enjoy. I think we had a clean swap. Great, we did. Yeah. Excellent. So yeah, we've seen it all. We've seen 2 brilliant brawl moves by Bears for their 2 wins, and we've seen a bit more long range confidence and map control wins for Pi on the matches that they've won. Funnily enough, Canyon and Tourmaline, the 2 maps that Pi won on, are 2 of the most played in comp historically. Anyone who's played the World Championships, which started in 2016, will know Canyon and Tourmaline too much. We played years on that map. Yeah, the maps that Bearcat won, funnily enough, one was one of the oldest brought back, Frozen Classic, and then Solaris with the newest one. So very, very interesting matchup here. Now, Grim Plexus, it is probably a larger, more open map, which would indicate, I think, Pie's strengths, unless the Bear Cave can pull off a heavy roll push or some other meme thing that is unexpected.
Alright. So, level pool to level again. I had one of my overlays up to cut off a little bit of the top part of the screen. Apologies.
Brilliant.
But at least people got to see the whole learn match though, you know? Which is the important part. Everyone got to see it.
So Bear Cave like to do theme drops, okay? So, they rated nice and quickly. So we've already had the AC20 peeps, AC20 snappy sort of brawl stuff. We've already had the Merm spam. We've had the Lerm spam. We've had what was the other one? They brought some sort of weird DACA thing. Anyway, this map probably needs to be range. I think there might be some range. Brawl push, a bit tricky. The limit is it 450 tons or 420?
420 for
Yeah.
Grim.
420. Blaze it. Yep. 420 limit. I'd be interested to see what they run. They could do PPC spam.
Team 1's locked
That
with
hasn't been
4
done
in Alpha, 1 in Bravo, 2 in Charlie.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
I think that's just. In fact, this is probably of all the maps there is, I think is the one that's most critical on locking first or second. So what it does is it tells you how many are going to Kappa, essentially, or how many could be going to Kappa. So if you see 4-1-2 like that, okay, and you're on team 2, you're going to be thinking there's going to be 2 mechs at Kappa, with a third potentially rushing there, but that Bravo mech could be going Theta. So what you could do as team 2 is you could go screw Kappa, we're going to get Alpha Bravo and just go for it. Of course, there's a bit of mind games there. It could be feigning, but essentially, if you see the other team put 2 in Charlie, then it's reason to imply the 2 are going to Kappa.
Now, this week, I've casted a few games, and I've watched the other casts. One thing that a lot of teams keep trying to do, I think this is a holdover from the 3-cap in ISC, but a lot of teams are trying to control these 3 caps, right?
The
And
9
then,
line, yeah.
and then like they'll get mechs out here, then the enemy takes these 2 caps and then one of these back caps, and now these mechs are dead in the water. And so they'll usually have to come around. I think CDU ran into the problem. I kind of ran into the problem, but I was playing more for all 4 of these because I put my team here. We ended up losing on caps 2 barely because I got hit with a surprise streak linebacker. I had no idea was even on the map. I thought I had like basically all the enemy mechs killed except for 2 assaults and a light mech. And no, there was a streak linebacker hiding here for my lights, and he took that cap from me, and I lost. Yeah, I'm still bitter about that. Happy Scroll Hunters.
Yeah, surprise streak linebacker is always a hilarious thing. That's almost a meme in our thing because about 3 years ago we had a match where everything was going fine. The streak linebacker comes out, eats a guy instantly, just gives him 0 damage, just out of nowhere. It was absolutely hilarious. It's the only kill the enemy team got, but it was very funny.
I'm taking a look here at Pi. We got a Bloodass, Ultraviolet, Summoner, Javelin, Hellbringer, Assassin, and Commando. The Javelin and Assassin, that's their streak ones, just like they did before.
Bear Cave are bringing every type of PPC under the sun. I don't think there's a PPC they haven't brought.
Wait, really? Let me check this out.
No, there's no heavy peeps, I don't think. Okay, which is probably whatever. But they have clan ones, they got light ones, they have ER ones, they've got
Thunderbolt and the Warhammer are both snubs.
Yeah, they got snubbies, they've got all kinds of stuff. They're going for the 9 line. Bear Cave running for the 9 line. Look at that.
Yeah, we do have heavy peeps. That's awesome. I like that awesome build. The 3 heavy peep awesome. That's a
Have you
fun one
tried
and
the
quick play.
Have you tried the 4 heavy peep?
Enemy
Awesome.
forces have Sigma. We have Gamma.
Oh no, the streak assassin javelin combo on Kuriyama. Not he was the prime
Run,
apart from
Commando,
earlier. Now
run!
the commando.
Possession
Get
of
out there!
Capital.
Get out there, Commando!
He's running towards the enemy team. No one will expect him to go there.
Oh, ooh, this Commando's going to get.
Ru-
He might wait. He might get
Oh,
away.
he might. I mean, he's lost his small laser arm, but I mean, it's better to do that than lose your life. Uh, he should be fast enough to get away. Is he going to cross the line of fire of cutback summoner? That's the question. Or Taha's Hellbringer. He's going to be. It's just grazed by the lasers there. Bearcav mechs, are they going to be able to receive the commando back into their welcoming arms? Maybe.
Commando does get a
Tugbobo's
UAV
commando
up.
around the backside, so Pi doing similar thing to Tourmaline here. In fact, this was
We
the
have
Tourmaline
gained a
vibes. We have
Yes.
one Bearcav light almost dead by streaks, and the other one doing 0 damage but capping.
Yeah, this is Tourmaline all over again on a different map.
And triple cap. This is dangerous for Bearcav. They're down 3 caps to 1.
Bearcav, are they rolling up the backside in Fox 10? It looks like they are.
Yeah, I don't know why, but they are. Admittedly, the Beagle that is running up there, it does have jump jets. The Thunderbolt has jump jets. The Mad Cat is said to have jump jets. So they could jump on the spine there and shoot. I think that's a strat that I would probably not expect them to run in mass because of that awesome, but who knows? They gotta make a move. Although Pi are running out there too.
Yeah, it looks like Pi is it wants to take this fight, but I don't think they want to, because there's a lot of snubs and heavy peeps on that enemy team.
They have a Bloodhouse with Ultra 20 to Ultra
Resource point
10,
beta
so
is
Pi
powered.
may want to press this, but oh, I don't. If I was in Pi's position, this is not what I want to be pushing. If in fact Bearcav they need to find and just kill, they just have. Oh, there's 4 caps. This is not. No, this is just cap game. They're going for a 5 cap. It's going to be all your base R belong to us. Grim is such a notorious cap map that I think it is actually game already.
Ooh, Thunderbolt
favor
got
of
caught
Pi.
off on his own. The rest of Bears Brawlers went around towards Epsi's, and this Thunderbolt.
NASCAR.
Yeah,
You guys got NASCAR on?
but this Thunderbolt, I don't think is
Monsoon,
gonna survive.
Oh, he can't sacrifice his left torso either because that's where his snubs are. It doesn't matter. He's cherry red anyway. Bear gonna anti-NASCAR this. They have 1 cap.
We've captured resource.
Yeah,
They
they
could
managed-
grab Gamma for free.
Yeah, they took
So they
Epsi's,
gotta fight.
but yeah,
Come,
come on, Bears.
Bear Cave, they just need to send it. They just have to
Yeah.
send it because the Panther is not a tank.
Oh no. Pi has them kind of cornered with the 2 streak mechs on the other side. Yeah, as you said, Bears, they have to full send it and win the fight, and then try to take caps back.
They have to full send, win the fight with at least 3 mechs remaining. They have to full send right now. It's 400 caps at 4-1 counter cap on a notoriously wide cap map. This is very. I think we're going to see a blue 750 no matter what happens here. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Cut the pie. Get it? Cut the pie. No, whatever. The Bond's going wide in the dive with covering his friendly heavies and oh, that's just very nice to see. Hattrick gonna push out, buddy. The Bond is taking some big hits there.
I think Mr.
Now the
Brightside's
Hellbringer
about
Summoner
to pop.
should be peeking. If Pie could just cut the pie right now and just kill everything, they really could win
Yeah,
this one
Thunderbolt and
pretty
Mad Cat are both cord CT in 1 touch.
Yeah. The Warhammer is the only really fresh mech, and maybe the Awesome can take some hits. But the Awesome is already open, and so the Warhammer is literally the only fresh mech on the Bear Cave side. They have a Veagle somewhere.
Where did the
I don't know where
Veagle
he is. He's over the. He's getting a pink Veagle's getting a line down the sideline there. He is hemming them back a bit, so he's actually doing well in preventing Pi from peeking for free. The push is coming at 575 caps.
Yeah.
A
No
bit
matter
late, but
what,
it's
even if
happening.
they win the fight, they've lost on caps at this point, like by a mile,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah, I think you were right when you first mentioned that the moment that they needed to push was a couple minutes ago, and if they pushed, they could have pushed over Pi, and then had most likely enough mechs to start taking caps back and potentially pull this back into
Uh,
their win.
Honestly, like I said, it was 3 to 1 caps. You're ready. You should be panicking on this map. On this map, if you're down by 1 cap, you gotta be pretty scared
Yeah.
of the blue of what would be for them the red 750. Kills on this map. I mean, yes, of course, kills win, but only to the effect of caps. In fact, we will probably see caps and kills almost simultaneously. There's a 5 cap. All your base belong to us.
Javelin still cooks himself even while he was chain firing his swim twos. What a Chad. He was riding that heat bar as hard as he could.
He didn't take any internal damage. I want his RNG. I don't get away with that.
Well done, Pi.
Now,
At the end, pulling out a win from a
yeah,
2-1 loss. Well
yeah,
done.
they've done well. Excellent series. Very, very close. Probably close to the most expected, but they definitely fought for it. Hat-trick, that's the Ultra 20 to Ultra 10 Bloodhouse. 4 kills, 927 damage. Excellent job
Wow.
there. Backed up well by good damage out of the direwolf there too. The Commando only did 62 damage, a minute and a half spent capping, and he got 2 kills. 2 kill steals.
Yeah.
Bear Cav, you see a few mechs there. Really, I think they just didn't really have decisive forward movements. They kind of got hemmed in a bit in a few places, particularly on the inside the Epsilon cap against that wall. A bit of NASCAR there as well. And then there was a lot of times where one Bear Cab mech was getting shot and almost no Bear Cab mechs were doing shooting.
Hmm.
So there was a lot of downtime of guns, which just really contributed, I think, to a lower damage output there across the board.
Now,
A full send, I think, would have made the match closer.
now it looks like from where I was sitting that when I mentioned the teams trying to play the 3 cap game with Sigma, Gamma, FCs, playing
Yeah.
it looks like Bears was trying to do the same thing, but unfortunately, Pi, like you mentioned, got a 4 cap lead before they even, before they even got away from Sigma. I think by the time Bears was about here on their forward momentum, Pi already had Kappa, Theta, Gamma, and Epsis. Um, I don't think they had
Yeah.
enough speed to do what they were thinking about doing because they were beelining for here, but they never made it. And it looked like Pi was doing that too, but they ended up turning in towards Epsis instead
Well,
originally, and then they went
look at
around
that
to
for capping.
NASCAR.
Yeah, yeah. That line is a rough thing where they kind of Beggar went down there, tried to turn around, and just got stuck in that little spot there. On this map, honestly, I do think you either go for a kill strat, and just kill stuff quick, or you just do wolf packs and mobility, and you really try to play that cap game and force a decentralized sort of strategy or something where because the challenge is there's no one place on this map where you can cover 3 points. In fact, there's actually not too many places on this map where you can even cover 2 points. I mean, Theta and
Yeah.
Eps you can kind of. There's a few we do Theta Eps, but there's not many that do Theta that do Eps and something else. Like
Hmm.
outer space, you can kind of do maybe Sigma Eps and Echo 10, but that's a bit yuck. You can kind of do Eps Gamma in Hotel 10, but again, it's a bit yuck because you're so far out. So, what works on Canyon and Tourmaline doesn't usually work for Grim. You kind of need either a bit more aggression, mobility, or just going for those kills, or Capstrap.
Yeah. Grim has been one that consistently this week people underestimated the cap game and how long it takes the routes to get from one cap to another. Like between Sigma and Kappa, when you actually add in, you know, since you can't
It's
go
ages.
like the way as a crow flies, right? Yeah, it's almost a 5 kilometer trek from like Sigma to Kappa. So I think people underestimated that. I know I did this week. Underestimated
That's
just how
retake.
far
Yeah.
Kappa and stuff was. So a lot of us teams we lost on caps this week from that.
Oh,
But
I think Grim is more of a Capstrap map than Alpine is.
Yeah, for sure.
I find Grim you get capped more than that. I mean, we don't talk about Polar. But yeah. Do we want to get a post-match interview going?
Do we still have them available? Are they still around?
Just PM Minister and Bear see if wants to do interviews.
All right.
I'm gonna PM Bear. Give Minister.
Yeah, I got Minister.
Great. Just gonna flick him a channel invite. See if that gets him in. But yeah, really happy to see that. I like that Bear brings mechs that are fun and enjoyable, and that obviously hilarious, and still puts up a brilliant fight against the division leaders. So yeah, excellent job both teams. I'm just really happy to see what they've done, and I'm really glad to still be able to cast and play comp in 2021.
Yeah. Minister's down for a post-match interview. Just wait for him to show up. All right, he's up in the waiting channel. Let's see if Bears shows up.
Yeah, haven't heard back yet.
Well, we give it 1 minute. See if Bear shows up. If not, we'll just bring Minister in at least.
It's fine. Okay. I should probably look up what the overall runnings are. Do you have the leaderboard for Div D up somewhere?
Um, Actually, I believe I do. I can pull it up right now. Yeah, here we go. Before this match, Pi was in the lead of the division with 8 points. With three more, that puts them at 11. And Bears Brawlers had five, but now they're at seven. So Bears Brawlers is second place. Pi first, Bear Brawlers second, with Dapper Raptors, and then F37 picking up the rear.
Right, is that F37's first or second team? Or they only bring one team
The
in?
B team. Unfortunately,
Second
their
team.
main team is the one that
Pulled out.
forfeited.
Oh,
Yeah,
man, that's sad. Yeah.
it is. I was really looking forward to playing them. Those Frenchy weebs. I've had some good fun with them. There was a. I used to scrim them a lot when they were in lower divs, just kind of help them out a bit. And one day I wake up and they're in the same div as me, and it's like, oh,
Hmm.
it's time for Papa to put the kid down, put him in his place. But I didn't get my chance. I miss you, Shad. Get your team back together. Come back for Worlds or the next player-hosted league, please. F37 is a lot of fun to watch. They do they they like to blend meta and then do crazy stuff too. A little bit like Bears Brawlers did today.
Hmm.
What? I don't think we're getting Mr. Bear, but we can
I
just
don't think we get Mr. Bear.
we'll pull Minister in then.
Yeah, give Mr. in.
Hello, can you hear us?
Hello.
GG's on the win today.
Yeah, thank you.
When you have those couple losses in a row, things were starting to look a little hairy.
Yeah, well, most of us are just now waking up, so
Yeah, I know what you mean. I went to bed 6 hours ago and woke back up 3.
yep.
I got up at 3:30 a.m. this morning to play comp, so.
Your sacrifice is always appreciated.
Oh no, it's midnight here. I'm fine now. I'm on the other end of sleep. I'm about to go to sleep now.
Yep.
Now, the big one I want to talk about is when you outlearned the Lerm team on Canyon.
That we definitely expected them to bring lerms on that. It's a good lerm map, and we've done this enough times against enough teams to know who brings what. So we definitely expected lerms, so we wanted to bring AMS, and we were like, you know what? Let's just bring lerms too.
Um, still though, it was good watch. Your deck was closer to what I thought Bears was going to bring originally, but yeah, you guys ended up playing it better than them. Now I think on 3 drops, you guys doubled down on the Assassin Javelin combo. I was a little skeptical at first, but I mean,
Our
it did God's
those
work there on Torvaline. You guys yeeted that Piranha real quickly, and then I think on that last match, you guys almost took out the Commando.
Yep.
Torvaline and Grim were basically um, the same drops played out on 2 different maps. Uh,
Yes.
the order of events happened almost identically too.
We've learned that those streak boats are they can be a game changer. And those pilots, Lilith and Crane, they're fantastic in those mechs. So
Now, um, was it Solaris the one where Bears was able to wrap on you guys? Uh, you
well,
guys had
my team kill didn't exactly help there.
no,
It was
no,
a beautiful clean shot though.
yeah,
Let's be
beautiful
honest.
shot.
It was well placed.
I think it was. I'm not for sure, but I think it was mid jump too when that happened. So like, yeah,
Yeah, it was
Clay
from my
Pigeon.
point of view, it was one of those like click, oh no.
Oh, we've all been there. If you
Yep,
haven't killed one of your friends at least once in a comp match, you're not doing comp right.
exactly.
Now, you guys had a lot of more rangy mechs, and what ended up happening is you guys kind of got folded on, um, where they got you guys pinned up against a wall. I think it was in D4 area, and then they rotated on you a stronger a brawl deck. There was a bit of trading
Yes.
going on at one point too, but
Yeah, that's there's not a whole lot to say about that. They just they brought a better deck for that, and they just outplayed us on it. It is what it is.
fair enough.
We'll next time Solaris comes up in the rotation, we'll revisit our drop deck. We'll just say
She
that.
should bring a 4M 40 Stalker. It's good for you.
Yep.
Shush, Jay. No, everyone's tired of hearing how big your stalker collection is. How many do
Anyway,
you have nowadays?
124. Anyway,
That's more
no,
mechs than I have.
I was really impressed with this series of games. It was excellent to see you guys bring very, I guess, classic ideas and make them work. So, get 3 caps, hold them, get some map control, win the light fights, that sort of thing. Just obviously, as you know, there's a lot to work on there. And if you or anyone else has questions, I'm always happy to answer and help out with that. But yeah, I think it was really good to see you guys. I'm not sure anything too crazy. You definitely knew your opponents, particularly on the canyon drop. I could see a little bit of counter strat there, which is nice. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was just
Well,
really
it
good to see the
it
basics. Yeah,
it definitely helps that we've at this point we have some comp experience, even if not all of our players do. Our team as a whole does. So we can kind of play a little bit above our skills as far as our strats and drop decks go. So it's definitely been helpful. Having especially in the early days of Pi. Jay Z, you were a big help then.
no, I'm glad to. Always happy
Oh,
to help.
that's so sweet. Yeah, Jay Z's a big softie in the community. He's
That
always
was
helping out other teams.
that was a little over a year ago now that we formed Pi.
Yeah, no, I've been really encouraged by you guys. I do have a soft spot for newer teams. I really do. I like seeing people learn and have fun and for the first time and get the basics down. And yeah, I really like my favorite games to cast are actually Div D, Div E games because you see there's a lot of opportunity there to really have a lot of fun, try things out without too big stakes or pressure on it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a lot of fun.
And we try to have fun with it too.
Oh, of course. I mean, we're not getting
And
much out of comp other than, some pretty, like, intense droppage and fun for the most part, If you're not
yep,
having fun in comp, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Well
We
said,
So
gentlemen.
so Mr. Bear has joined us. G'day, Mr.
Yes.
Bear. How are you going?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, Mr. Bear.
So, did I make you go WTF in any one of those drops?
Yes, your stalker had 3 lemon 20s instead of 4.
um, I was, uh, I was skeptical, silently skeptical about your MRM deck, but you guys played that well in Solaris City, so my hat's off to you, sir. And also, your
Uh,
Brawl Rush on Frozen was, it felt very
Beautiful.
me, right? Uh, just getting it, just sticking together as 7 guys and hitting the enemy with 7 mechs at once, right? That's a so I'm a
it
sucker for
it
strats like that.
it felt like your target focus was on point too. I don't know if
Pretty
it
uh,
much
was, but it sure felt like it.
it,
if you
it,
watch the thing back, you'll see that the average damage spread on the 2 brawl pushes on the 2 brawl maps, Frozen Sea Knight and Solaris, Bearcav had almost all of their mechs around 400 damage, like all 7 of them, on both those 2 brawl things. So I think Bear's Brawlers in the name I have got that brawling thing down. Focus Fire probably wasn't super precise, but they definitely were getting lots of good damage and all their mechs were engaged. I think, and this is just as I see it, is like early on when you learn the game and getting into it, or you've been playing for a while, if you watch a game recording and you see 6 of the 7 mechs on the enemy team shooting something, whether it's accurate or not, shooting something, and then 3 of the other team's mechs shooting something, even if the focus fire isn't exactly perfect or Div A level, right? The team that has more mechs engaged on something will just be racking out damage faster than they're taking it as a whole. Does that make sense? So
yep.
what those broad matches were, the focus fire probably wasn't perfect, but they had more of their mechs engaging something somewhere, and that's what won those ones.
Yeah,
Pinpoint focus fire could have probably swung it back a bit, but I think that's what I think won those ones there. Because if you look at percentages, yes, some mechs were getting one more than others, but it wasn't like pinpoint bang like you might see in Div A, which is fine, and that's just something to be aware of. So yeah, the brawling strength I think to focus on, guys, is just make sure whenever you engage something, you have enough of your friendly mechs there to just also engage simultaneously and to capitalize on that armor usage of your teammates.
yeah, that definitely is what happened to us on Frozen. You guys pushed us. We were spread out, and as soon as the push happened, we knew we were spread out. We knew it was over. No one said it, but we all knew it.
Well, the whole rationale for drop one was basically we're going to start with a bang.
It
My
was
man.
definitely a bang.
So the whole point was as many AC20s and LBX20s as we can, walk in a straight line and just get stuck in. And
It's amazing how simple strategies like that could be so effective. I think a lot of people forget that.
Um, we don't have too much more time with you guys here, but while we do, the one I really want to talk about is the match that, in the end, was this deciding match for who won today, which was Grim. Um,
Really?
both
Not Canyon? I thought it was Canyon.
Kenyon is what decided the match. So you guys were both heading to Fox 10, but Pi was a lot faster, it seems. Um, now, now Bears, you had every PPC in the game in your deck. At least you had snubs, you had ERs, you had heavy peeps. Just it was a good galore. But after Sigma, y- you guys kind of lost momentum.
Oh mate, I had no idea where you're going, buddy.
What?
Okay,
I had no idea where you're going, Bear.
Oh,
we can't aim to save our lives. I mean, legit. I mean,
I
we're
guess
not
my
that
question was:
pro
were
with
you guys heading
PPC.
towards Fox 10? Was that like the original plan? Take Sigma and the camp Fox 10?
Okay, the original plan was to take Sigma, hold at Fox 10, cover Epsi, and try to lure Pi in. then basically do the front rank fire, second rank fire, and PPC them to death lah. So that was the plan for the match. Things that didn't quite work out was Pi actually did pretty good running their light pack. So streaks was a very good combo, especially against
Yeah,
our
Pi
our
played
own light
dirty.
pilot.
Minister, you guys played dirty with the streak mix.
Hey, as long as it's not against the rules, we're gonna use it.
Yeah. So hats off there because that was a pretty good strat. So that neutralized our light max. And basically that I feel cost us because you guys could disagree with me on this, but my take is for every comp, it's really the light pilots that can make or break a game.
Absolutely, light pilots are absolutely the playmakers in comp for the most
That
part.
Yeah.
was our strategy going into it, was take out the lights and hold it Fox 10.
Yeah, that's what I was saying in the cast. I think both you guys' plans was to take Fox 10, but then
Yeah.
it started falling apart when you guys were both heading for it, right? Now Bears, you had a couple moments there where because of your, I would say you had a superior push deck, right? And Pi was just around the corner, and you guys never
Mm.
pushed. You ended up trading the corner, and it's like, oh no. um, I would just say, you know, just like drop one, when you have nothing else to lose, just full send it, right? If you're not sure what to
Yep.
do, just full send it and then figure it out later.
I
You
mean,
know,
We're
yeah.
there's something. This is a quote that I like to share with teams: is everything's a brawler if you're brave enough.
Yes.
exactly.
Yes, yes.
The problem is the second part. That's where I get into trouble, which is anything can be a brawler once.
We're
uh,
lucky enough that we have a couple of pilots that aren't afraid to be the tip of the spear. Um, and we know which pilots those are, and we're not afraid to use them. So we didn't capitalize on ours as much today, like on Solaris, but that's having those designated pilots who are the ones that are fine just pulling a Leroy Jenkins. It goes a long way.
I don't have any more questions for either of you. How about you, Jay?
Not really. As far as questions go, I mean, the main question I think, well, I only got one question really is, um, what would make it more fun for you to keep playing comp?
That's a good one. That's deep. Do we have time for deep questions?
I
Go
think
for
these upcoming map changes are really going to make comp interesting. So,
it.
Francois, if you're watching, keep it up.
Yeah, shout out to
we're,
the
we're,
map guy.
we're in it for the memes, dudes.
That's his
You had
fair
no
bear.
idea how much you had no idea how much we were laughing on Solaris City.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
The
that
So
the,
what
the
you're
was
whole
telling
point.
me is, I'm just gonna write down some cauldron notes. Increase LRM hit points against AMS. Okay, yep, got it.
Basically, we chatted with one of our guys, and the point of view for Solaris was very simple. If we shoot enough miss MRMs and drop enough strikes, everybody's frame rate will die.
Yep. That and if you could slip into your strategy, make one of the other players team kill one of their own guys.
Yep.
What's funny is years ago, this is about 2013, early 14, I think, that when the machine guns that were
Oh,
and
you
our
just
team
Yep.
had
cut out
like
on my
3
end,
of them.
Jay Z.
You might cut.
Yeah, you roboted there for a second.
Yep.
Is he gone?
Oh, sorry, there we go.
Oh,
That
there
should
he
be
is.
better. Yeah, no, a few years back, it was about 2013. There was a comp match where we had, I think, 7 or 8 machine gun mechs in total on HPG, and back then, this is like 8 years ago now, it wasn't as optimized, and so it actually would crash the game. And so
Oh
we
wow.
had to have there was had to actually limit the amount of MGs Max used, it would just make the game chug at like 10 FPS or something. Quite hilarious,
Is that
really.
why the animation doesn't match the fire rate, or has it always been like that?
There are other mismatches caused by other reasons which we do not want to which we do not know the reason for. So just leave it at that.
All right.
Well, anyway, Minister, I've got to thank you. My wife was watching the matches. Uh, 3-2 is a pretty decent result. I think it could have gone
Yep.
either way, frankly.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to revisit some things for next week against you guys. So
Yep. AMS, god damn it. AMS.
Yep.
AMSOP.
1,500 and how many missiles, Aggie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, shout out to the Corsair for being the ultimate AMS boat. The thing's been a
Yep.
lifesaver in the quick play queue since the day it got
Calming match
released.
draw. Nothing
Yeah,
like calming
farming.
match draw in a comp match.
All right, well, I got nothing else for you guys. I'm gonna probably throw you out of the channel here in a second, so we can wrap up the
Alright.
stream.
Alright, Minister, thanks for the drops. Jay-Z
Yeah.
live, thanks for casting. Really appreciate the fact that you guys woke up early and stayed up late for this, alright?
Yep.
No worries.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all.
All right, you
And
guys.
Mr. Bear, thanks for the
Yes.
drops.
Same thing.
Look forward to
Same.
next week.
Alright, see you next week, dude.
All right. I think that about wraps everything up. Do you guys have any final words you want to say before I end the stream?
No, I hope you had a lot of fun, guys. And if you haven't played comp yet, better get on it soon.
Yeah.
It doesn't comp Discord, and hopefully there's something coming up in the next few months.
We Worlds is definitely we got Worlds coming up. I believe in September-ish. Not that's not set in stone yet. That's just what I've been hearing. And I don't think there's anything in between then. So Worlds is where you go make a name for yourself. Go get an actual title. That's what I'm gunning for this year. That's right, Black Omen. I'm gonna push you out of fourth place. uh, everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the cast. I'm Level, and this has been Jay Z, and we hope to see you guys next weekend for some more MWO leagues.
See ya.